So welcome everybody. Really happy to have you today to join our webinar Ready to Supercharge Your ESG Finance Report with SWIP. I will be really happy to present to you today with Raf, our SWIP of Finance ESG module. So for today's agenda, we will cover a few topics. A quick overview of the financial regulation landscape. We will then deep dive quickly as well on SFDR, its implication, and some of the definitions. And then we will show you how SWIP can help, how our ESG finance module can help to achieve your SFDR reporting. And we will do as well a quick demo, taking the shoes of an investee that answer an ESG survey directly from SWIP. And then, of course, we will open the floor to a Q&A session. So for today, I will be joined by my colleague, Raf, that I'll let present himself.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you to speak about ESG for finance in SWIP. So for the ones who don't know me, I work in the same team as Nils, as the finance carbon expert.
Exactly. And as Rafael team, we're delivering the Super Finance product to our finance customer. If we start on the next slide, so we will just quickly do an overview of the regulation landscape, talking about SFDR, but not only. And throughout the whole webinar, we will ask you some questions inside the chat. So feel free to answer and give some of your inputs as well. So about regulations. Regulations are driving a positive change in the financial sector, and this is happening right now as the European Sustainable Finance Action Plan did mention three objectives, mainly try to reorientate some capital flow towards some sustainable investments, as well as mainstreaming sustainability into risk management, and last but not least, fostering transparency and long-termism. So there's all type of regulation that cover four different teams. It could be from the classify to disclose to implement and integrate. Today, SWIP helps mainly on disclosing ESG factors. So this is the whole topic of this webinar, how SWIP can help you both in SFDR and CSRD, but for this session on SFDR, how can we help you disclose your ESG indicators? So if you switch on the next slide, Raf. This is some of your priorities. So from SFDR to taxonomy, CSRD, MiFID II. And one of your uncertainty is how are you going to manage the data around SFDR? There is a complexity of those regulations. There is as well difficulty in gathering the required data, and this is how SWIP can help. And of course, there is a cost associated with this future reporting of SFDR. So as you understood, data is a key element in complying with those regulations, especially SFDR. And this is how we can help. And this is how we're going to show you how we can help. So for the next slides, a deep dive on SFDR from Raf.
Yeah. And you have the quick poll you can answer in the chat as well. So let's deep dive a bit. You probably all know now SFDR. That's one of the major EU regulation that is taken in place for the financial institutions. So SFDR is all about disclosures and transparency, whereas in the past there was a bit of disclosures and not very much transparency. And it's also about standardization. So it's the first work of having these indicators and policies that financial institutions are using to invest and are implementing in their investment policies. So the goal, of course, is in the end to avoid greenwashing and to foster sustainability like all the other EU regulations from the Green Plan. So the scope of application, if you're an asset manager, if you are a pension fund, if you are a bank, you are all concerned. And the calendar, we put on the right. The first detailed statement was due past June, and there is the second exercise that is coming. Second exercise that's going to be interesting because there is the first year-on-year comparison. So it's starting to be implemented and widely used and widely reported. So let's see again a bit the main definitions that SFDR brings into the table. There is a lot to disclose, but we just wanted to highlight the main topics. The first one is around product level requirements, which is actually a big concern about the EU regulation because they don't want to be classification or labelization issue yet. So we wanted to call it product level requirements, meaning that depending on the level of ESG sustainability criteria you are building around in your strategies, you are going to report on some or not all the requirements from the SFDR, not all the articles. So we all know now the Article 6, Article 8, Article 9, mainly because Article 8 and 9 need to report additional information because they say they are doing additional things. So that's why it's additional requirements. The other definition that is key is around sustainable investments because to promote an Article 9 and to manage an Article 9 fund, you need to explain how did you invest in your companies and how did you define your sustainable investments. So there are additional guidelines coming from the EU Q&A, one of the multiple Q&As they made public around the fact that it's on you, asset manager, to define your definitions, but you have, I would say, three possibilities to insert in this sustainable investment. You have the companies that are active in a sustainable sector activity. They are helping to have a sustainable world, a better society and environment. They are the ones that have good practices. So the ones that probably or maybe not are solving the problem, but they are having good practices to improve. And then there are the ones that also can have a transition plan. They are in a transition. So it's a big topic. It's not the main subject of today, but just wanted to put into the discussion all these key elements. And then the third one, which is more around our discussion today about indicators, ESG indicators coming from the investments. So mainly the principal adverse impacts that the EU Commission has now created, and they are asking for you to take into account these ESG indicators and also to report on it on an annual basis. And just wanted to mention also that there is an ongoing consultation. You probably or maybe know that there is this more survey than a consultation. So a lot of questions that you can take advantage to express your feelings about SFDR regulation. There is a huge topic around product level categories or labels, meaning that the Article 6, 9, and 8 were not well understood and well not used. And so there is two options, keeping them, but making sure that it's not a label, or introducing new categories into these articles. Then there is also a topic around what Nils mentioned, around the interaction with other legislation and other standards that are coming into place. For example, CSRD, that is going to help the SFDR also to disclose some data, common data. And then there is also a part about cost and data quality survey, which is, I think, key in what we are talking today around what data do you want to disclose on your investees. There is, of course, estimates, but there is also the real work about engaging the portfolio companies and trying to have better data to help them and engage. So the following topic is how Sweep can help you do everything.
Exactly. Mainly by doing two things. You're already using Sweep for your finance carbon emissions. So now Sweep is helping you as well to collect the data, not only the carbon, but as well the ESG data, and to take actions. So yeah, mainly you're already using Sweep on only carbon, and now ESG can be another topic to tackle thanks to Sweep. We will show you how, and on the next slide, we will show you all the offers that we cover at Sweep for the moment. So you may already use the corporate offer, some of the finance offer as well on carbon footprint, but not on the ESG offer. So this is something that you can tackle with Sweep as well. We have as well some offers on supply chain or compliance being CSRD or SFDR. So for instance, the next slide will show you what's the advantage of using Sweep as well for the ESG reporting.
Yes, thank you, Nils. So we think that there are four pillars on the Sweep for ESG offer. The first one is the scalability, because of the fact that you are probably using carbon data and you have carbon data in the platform. So let's leverage that. You have also put some effort to gather all the financial information and the portfolio setup into Sweep. So you can also leverage that. So it's a one-time job, but you can use it to calculate financed emissions, and you can use it to gather and calculate your PIs. Whereas without us, it's going to be a bit harder to scale your data collection because you will have multiple tools or applications. So different places, different tools and systems to support, I would say, a holistic job, which is the carbon reduction and the improvement of sustainability into your portfolio companies. Then there is the customization. Sorry, the first need today is to collect PIs, the mandatory ones, some optional ones. But we know that collecting other ESG metrics is important because your LPs are asking that, because you are reporting against other standards, or even more because you want to ask additional questions because it's needed for you to have an impact and engage with them. So with Sweep, we have a flexible offer. So we will talk about that in more details in a bit. But if you are not using Sweep and you are maybe using other things, it's a lot of manual work today to gather ESG data. Not only carbon, but ESG can be a very wide range of metrics to store and monitor. There is also manual work to ensure compliance. And of course, there is less automation to put in place. The third pillar is around network, because today you are maybe starting engaging your investees to use Sweep. They have their own Sweep account for free, and you can streamline the engagement because they will use the same account and they have everything also for them at the same place. And what we want to push, and what you are probably wanted to push, is that your portfolio companies, they are asking to answer a lot of things, a lot of surveys. It's a lot of work on their side, and so we want to make sure that they answer once a data point and they can report to many other parties. So that's our job as a platform to facilitate this network functioning. Whereas without Sweep, they will they will be asked to log in a different platform to type 2 times the same answer, and it's going to be complex to engage with other investors. And then the last part, not least, is the calculation, because so carbon accounting is probably more simple because it's multiplication and sum, but for the PIs it's a bit more complex. There is aggregation that are specific to specific PIs. So of course with Swift we provide you with all the pre-built report and calculation, so you can really spend more time analyzing the data than just doing pivot tables on Excel and trying to have the perfect report then. And we are ensuring also the regulatory compliance. You know that there is a lot ongoing between the consultations, the revisions, the EU Commission. So we are, of course, making sure that SWIP stays compliant, and if there are adjustments, we will implement that into SWIP, of course, for free. And then without SWIP, we think how to compute and also to compare year over year. So it's going to start becoming more difficult next year, because there is already historical data. And of course, we can take care of historical data if you have some. And then if you are doing on your own, there is obviously a lack of regulatory monitoring, because it's time consuming, and it's I would say maybe more comfortable to rely on an external party to deal with that. So a lot of reasons to join us on this ESG journey. So we wanted to show you very simply all the steps to be compliant with SFDR and more. So mainly your ESG reporting and your ESG campaigns. We will show you each step and how it looks like into Swift. So starting with creating your own survey or using pre-built survey from Swift, then launching the campaign, monitoring that everyone is answering, making sure that the investees have also a good experience, and the end of the presentation today will focus a bit on that, to make sure that we show you also the investees' experience. Then there is this check, data quality check, and also exchange between you and your investees. And then before acting on your data, closing your PAIs, and then we also will talk a bit about carbon, even if it's already a subject that you are dealing with today. So let's start with the preparation of the campaign. So we know that ESG is not yet standardized. So there are PIs, but there are also other frameworks, your own maybe, or the ones that your LPs are using or requesting data on, and also other initiatives like EDTI that are trying to, or Invest Europe that are trying to push their own versions of ESG questionnaire. So using SWIP, you will have, I would say, 3 main advantages. The first one is that we bring with the license also all the surveys that are available on out of the shelves. So for example, the PEI one, but also all the standard from the market. So for example, Invest Europe questionnaire, France Invest questionnaire, or also EDCI questionnaire. So we put this on the table, and we make sure that you have all the metrics that are needed to reply and report on these standards. And then we are making the possibility for you to use this and edit also. So make your own questionnaire from already standard questionnaires, and then you can edit and the description, and you can also create your own metrics if you want to. If you want to ask specific questions, you will have like the screenshots on this slide. You will have the possibility to really make the survey your own one, and use SWIP to do that. You can also parameter everything, ask documentation, description, if it's mandatory or not, and then you can really customize it as you want, as you wish. Then by leveraging also the portfolios that are already existing in your SWIP platform, you can launch the campaign. So it's really the same way as launching the carbon campaign. You're going to select the the survey that you want to send, and then you're going to select the portfolio company you want to send the survey to, and then you will be able to monitor all the advancement of the campaign. So we have several status that you can use to really see the advancement of the campaign, who to send reminder to, who is in progress, and who is ready for review. And then, so a bit of a preview of the investee journey. So they receive a digital link to log in if they are already Swoop users, because they maybe as answered you on the carbon part, they can log into the same account. So they will have an additional survey to answer. They can really easily understand the different questions they have, the definitions of the regulations. So we are trying to also ease this journey on their side. And they can also assign survey to a specific colleague if they want. And they also will see the previous answer if they have provided some, or if we have loaded your historical data, they will be able to see the previous answer. That's something that is really important for them to make sure that it's easy.
So when the investee answered the survey, it's time to check, and you have access to all the changelog or audit trails inside the platform. So you can approve or reject any indicators and explain why to your investee. You can reject it or approve it at the question level or at the survey level. Inside the platform as well, you can track the logs of change from one of your users or yourself and the investee answering the ESG surveys. And everything is fluent in the platform, both the checking process and who did what on the platform and who did answer what in the surveys. The next step is to close the campaign. So after closing the campaign, checking, validating the data received by the investees, you can directly communicate on your PAI dashboard with your PAI dashboard that is already implemented into the tool. And you can have this data at the portfolio level and as well filter by fund, for example. So it's an easy way to communicate the data to your investor or to be compliant to SFDR reporting. Then, of course, one of the steps is to act on this data. So you can set improve target inside Sweep in our improve section. You can communicate and engage with your investees on the targets that you have decided for your portfolio or for your funds. So you can set SBTI target at portfolio level, or you can directly connect your targets with the initiative of reduction of your investees. So this is where the tool is really powerful. It's when you need to connect with your network, both on gathering the data, collecting the data, and to set reduction targets. Last but not least, you can go further and give the possibility, of course, to your portfolio company to do a carbon footprint, but not only, of course, to do some ESG footprint on the sides. They can start for free. You can give them access as a free user, but you can as well give them access as a base plan that we will see a bit later. So if we recap on the 8th step, to be compliant with SFDR thanks to Sweep, you just start to create your own questionnaire, or you use our PAI SFDR pre-built survey. Then you launch the campaign as you could do with carbon data, but you do it with ESG data. You monitor the campaign. We make sure, Sweep, the tool, makes sure that the investee journey is smooth, and Raf will show you this in few seconds. Then when the data is coming up to your account, you check, you close, and you act on the data you've received. And then you go further by giving a tool to your investee to have a less impact on our planet. So if we go to the next slide, we will show you quickly the difference between a free plan, a base plan, and a pro plan. So the free plan is when you send a survey to your investee, they can answer it, of course, get a first sense of some carbon or ESG data they feel, and then they will have just a quick view on the communicate side of a GHG report and and they could export it by PDF. But if we go a step above, if we give them the possibility to have a PACE plan, they could link the improve section of their tool with your account. So all the initiative from for investee will be connected with your reduction targets. And this is where the power of Sweep is really coming in. And of course, they will be able to communicate on different dashboards and to have other metrics from carbon to ESG to communicate on. So I'll let Raf present you how it works in the tool and put you in the shoes of one of your investees just answering one of the investor ESG survey.
We are going to be in the shoes of Lena for this quick demo. So we wanted to show you a few updates on the investee journey, because we think it's important to know what the investees are experiencing when they are using Sweep. So as you understood, you have two possibilities to offer them. You have the possibility to offer them a free plan and also a base plan, which is an improved version. So basically, when they will create their account, they will be invited to create their own account on board, put their sector and revenue, if it's not already pre-filled with your information. And then they are going into this to-do page where they have all their notifications, their to-dos coming from all the investors that are requesting data from them. So it can be carbon, it can be also ESG, as you are seeing that here. So we are going into sorry, 1 second into the surveys. We are also introducing a new navigation, a new design, and with that also new functionality. So the first functionality that we are introducing on the investee side is that the ability for them to not start from scratch on the carbon part, and soon also on the ESG part, when we will have benchmark for them to offer. And we are so offering them the possibility to see with benchmark data what could be their carbon footprint. So they are not starting the survey from scratch. They are starting with a bit of more information and insights of what is material for them, what is relevant. And then they will be able to answer surveys. So for example, let's jump on one ESG survey, for example, the PI one. Then they will have access to all the different questions from the PI regulation. If you are asking them additional questions, they will see the version of the questionnaire you want to send to them. So you can also customize the sectioning, the version and the design of your survey. Then they are able to answer any question. So it can be a Boolean question, it can be a numerical question. We are also introducing, not for PI, but for custom questions, we are introducing the possibility to have a multi-select questions. So for example, you can have a pre-selection of possible answers and they can pick one of them or multiple answers from them. So it's a new functionality we're introducing. And then they are going to be able to answer at the comments. And so on this example, they don't have historical data, but if they would, you will see just under each question what was the result from the previous period. And then in the end, they are able to see the results that they are submitting to you. And they can review it. They can submit or they can go back. And then on your side, if there is one data point that is not okay for you, you will be able also to reject each indicator, each question to say, okay, I think it's not good. So back to you, and please correct this because we know that it's not the right data. And then quickly showing you also the carbon survey. So you probably know how it works. So they can use this page to report their carbon emissions if they are already using another tool or even Sweep. They can import their data directly if they are using Sweep to provide you your data. And then if they didn't do the carbon footprint, they can answer to the questions we are asking them to have a first carbon footprint done. And then on the base plan, so additional functionality from the free plan, they can go a bit further. They can have access to a first version of Improve, the Improve module of Sweep, and they can set a BTI target. So they can change a bit the baseline year and the target year, and they can use initiatives that we are offering that are directly coming from our Sweep experts that gave a catalog of initiatives that are possible. So we are offering a list of different initiatives, and they can see the impact of this initiative, so they can start thinking about their improve and reduce journey. Then we are giving them the possibility to have access to a dashboard that is shareable and usable with the main insights coming from their themselves from the different surveys. So that's and then of course they can have access to details of each data point that are going to be also communicated to you as the investor. So here's the high level view of the rate plan. Of course, if you want to know more about that, if you think that portfolio companies that are possibly interested into this, of course we will be happy to deep dive a bit into a specific demo with you. And then I think it's the moment where we are asking you if you have any questions, and we will be happy to answer it because we have a bit of time to answer them.
You can ask them directly in the chat, or maybe raise your hand to ask it live. And I don't know if you sent all the questions that we had to send you as well. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need any more details on the base plan, on ESG finance with Sweep. We'll be happy to reach out back and to present it with more details. If there is no other question, we can leave it here. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and see you soon.